That's right, it's me. I am back. Believe it or not, your eyes are not deceiving you. It is Monday, October 21st, 2024, and yes, time once again for a mailbag. It has been a minute since I've done one of these, since I have done a whole lot of video production on the channel generally this year. I'm aware of this. It has been a very slow year for new videos on the channel, although every single Thursday I have been here for the live reading hangouts, which have been a way of keeping the channel ticking over, keeping me engaged with you guys, you know, with my lovely SFF180 family. But yeah, I don't know. It's not so much a matter of, you know, once you've done a channel for 10 years or more, it's not that you want to slow down. It's just that every once in a while it's time to kind of take a step back, take a breather, rethink things, regroup, recharge your batteries, and then come back. Hopefully refreshed, and I am definitely ready to come back refreshed. All this week I'm going to be starting with some horror coverage for Halloween, new book reviews coming up between now and the end of the month. It's not going to be like the full-fledged return to the 12 days of Halloween, as in, days of yore. But I'm, like I said, I'm working back into it, so maybe we'll see that next year, but you are going to get a lot of horror coverage, and then some science fiction fantasy catch-up coverage between now and the end of the year, and some pretty exciting videos. Working on one really good themed video. I have two complete trilogies that I am wrapping up and getting ready to do coverage of, and then as well as individual book reviews, and then just whatever tickles my fancy. I really enjoyed doing that collaboration with Whitney from Secret Sauce over Worldcon. The Worldcon vlog, my God, now that has been a bit of a production. Admittedly, I've sort of been taking the editing on it a bit slow, but I do want to have that up before the end of the month. That's a very ambitious video. So yeah, getting back into the science fiction, fantasy, and horror vibe with all of it. So very exciting time. Now, I have, of course, not been doing mailbags regularly for, probably since the end of COVID, or at least since lockdown was a thing. That really changed the landscape of getting physical books in the mail. It's not like it used to be in the early days, but I have on occasion been doing like little mini mailbags on the reading hangout streams on Thursday nights. If I have like one or two books I've gotten in the mail, I'll open those on camera during the streams, so that's been like a little mini mailbag thing, but coming back to regular episodes on Monday like this, again, I don't know how regular this will be, but you kind of have to request everything, whereas, like 2015, 2014, books would just turn up, like, a dozen a week, just, I wouldn't even solicit them, they would just show up, right? 2 or 3 a day, often. Not like that anymore. So, but yeah, hopefully, let's say, what if I could do a mailbag 1 episode a month? Climb back up that way. Even getting back at that pace would feel really good. So, wish me luck there. But anyway, I'm going to shut up now. I don't really have any announcements other than just I'm back. So, let's get into the books, shall we? And so I'm going to start out with this package from the Hachette group. Okay, so we're starting out with the ARC for the new novel by Andrea Stewart, who wrote the Bone Shard's Daughter, that trilogy. This is a new book. I'm not sure if it is the start of another series or trilogy. It's called The Gods Below. I do believe that the finished copy is out by now. This is the ARC version, but it's another big, fat, orbit epic fantasy, so let's see what it has to say for itself. From one of the biggest new stars in epic fantasy, says right here, comes a sweeping tale of warring gods, loyalty, betrayal, and a world in turmoil. Let's see. A divine war shattered the world, leaving humanity in ruins. Desperate for hope, they struck a deal with the devious god. Let's see. Here we come with those fantasy names. I'm going to say Cluin. We'll leave it at that. He would restore the world to its former glory, but at a price so steep it would keep the mortals indebted to him for eternity. That is a lot of debt. I do not even want to think about the interest rates on that. And as each land was transformed, so too were its people, changed into strange new forms if they survived at all. Hakara is not willing to pay such a price. Desperate to protect herself and her sister, Rasha, she flees her homeland for the safety of a neighboring kingdom. But when tragedy separates them, Hakara is forced to abandon her beloved sister to an unknown fate. Alone and desperate for answers on the wrong side of the world, Hakara discovers she can channel magic from the mysterious gems they are forced to mine for Cluin. To mine for, not mind, mine. There we go. With the discovery comes another. Her sister is alive, and the rebels plotting to destroy the God Pact can help rescue her, but only if Hakara goes to war against a god. Okay, so yes, this has been out for a little over a month now, so show you how behindhand I am. But here we go. The Gods Below is new from Andrea Stewart and Orbit Books. And following that, I have 3 packages that are in from Start Publishing, so I think I might know what this imprint is, but I need to check and be sure, so let's do that. Okay, so the publisher is Pyre, and I'm glad to see that Pyre is still around in some form, even if it is a much diminished form from the days when they were like really a big deal. You never want to see an imprint go away. And so, you know, I'm happy to see this, even if it's an anthology, The Year's Best Fantasy Volume 3. The editor is Paula Gurin. So let's just see, I guess, what all this has in it. Fantasy lovers prepare to embark on yet another mystical journey with some of the best writers in these genres. So, P.J. Lee Clark, Fran Wilde, R.S.A. Garcia, Nevo, Ken Liu, E. Lily Yu, and Catherine Valente, and Amal El Matar. I don't really recognize a lot of these individuals. I mean, of course, authors, yes. But I don't know if these are stories that were on any of the award ballots this year. I don't know. See, this is strange. I'm taking a look at this book, and it is, there's a price tag on the back and a UPC. So this is definitely the commercial edition of this book. But the Pyre logo does not appear on the spine. That's kind of an oversight, kind of strange. It looks a lot like an ARC. Yeah, like I say, it's kind of, it feels like they're just sort of, you know, barely hanging on by their fingernails. But I hope that that's not the case, and, you know, things are doing okay for them anyway. But this is the year's Best Fantasy Volume 3. Okay, and here is another Pyre anthology, also edited by Paula Gurin. This is the year's Best Dark Fantasy and Horror, Volume 5. Okay. And this one, they did remember to put the Pyre logo on the spine. Just what a strange oversight from the design people. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so what is in this one? We have stories by A.C. Wise, M. Rickert, Isabel Cañas, All the Things I Knew About Ghosts by Ophelia, age 10, Alea Dawn Johnson, Alex Irvine, Tananarive Dew, Sam J. Miller, Toby Ogundaran, I'm so sorry about the pronunciation, Priya Sharma, Darcy Little Badger has a story in here. Cool. Josh Roundtree, Angela Slatter, Lavi Tidhar, along with a few other authors. This is interesting. Okay, well, I mean, good to have these anthologies out there, and even if it's not, the stories aren't the same as the ones that seem to be making award ballots, well, it's good for them to be anthologized and preserved. And, you know, someone out there, Paula Gurin thought they were among the best, and so I'm willing to, you know, trust her judgment on that. So, the year's best Dark Fantasy and Horror, Volume 5. And the third and final book in from Pyre is this one, World Walkers. It's a new novel by Neal Asher. Neal Asher is a military science fiction / space opera author from the UK. And let's see, this is a new standalone novel set within the universe of his Owner trilogy. Okay, so if you are familiar with Neal Asher's work, he hasn't had a very high profile here in the States, but publishers, I guess, like Pyre and also Nightshade were trying to bring his books over. Haven't read much of his, to be honest with you. You know, he's not always my bag. I've read a few of his, and I don't entirely, you know, vibe with them. But you know, I may give him a try again, because of course I'm always complaining that there's not enough science fiction being published these days anymore in the days of romantasy. So yeah, maybe I will give this a shot. But this is World Walkers. This came out from Pyre on September 10th. Okay. It says he can jump between worlds, but can he save his own? As a totalitarian inspectorate tightens its grip, one man discovers the power to slip through the gaps and traverse alternate universes. World Walkers by Neal Asher is an exhilarating standalone novel set within the Owner trilogy. World Walkers available now from Pyre in trade paperback. Okay, so moving on down the list. Here's one of the white envelopes indicating the Macmillan Publishing Group. Okay, I'm very happy to have this. This is the finished copy in trade paperback of Monstrous Knights. The author is Genoveva Dimova, and this is the second book in the Compendium of Monsters duology. The first book was Foul Days. That came out back in the spring, I believe, or just before the summer. And, you know, I got that. I think, in fact, I mailbagged it on the stream. when I got it. But this, as I haven't read them yet, of course, but because it is only a duology, I will probably, binge them and do the back-to-back review. But it says, readers looking for witches and monsters will find everything they want and more. In the conclusion to Genoveva Dimova's Witches Compendium of Monsters, Witches Compendium of Monsters duology, Monstrous Nights. And this is on sale October 24th. Okay. Along with the first book, Foul Days, this series reads like The Witcher by way of Naomi Novik. Inspired by Dimova's own Bulgarian culture and her love of Eastern European folklore, this is a complete fantasy duology about human-like monsters, monstrous humans, and the walls between them. Okay, so I'm kind of skipping through here, and, the synopsis for this one contains some spoilers for Foul Days, so I guess I won't read it. But generally speaking, our character is Kosara, and, she confronts these monsters that are menacing her town and her society, culture, what have you. All right, so the two books, the duology is now complete. Foul Days and Monstrous Nights by Genoveva Dimova from Tor. Very excited to have this. This is in from MCD Books, that is Jeff Vandermeer's publisher, and this is the new book by River Solomon. And, very excited, it's a horror novel. Yee! All right, it's called Model Home. And, let's read what this is all about. I think this one is just out, maybe within the last week or two. It says, the three Maxwell siblings have kept their distance from the lily-white gated enclave outside Dallas where they grew up. That I can understand. It wasn't being the only black kids in the neighborhood that pushed the children to flee, but rather the strange and inexplicable things that began to happen in the house as soon as they moved in. Was it some cosmic trial? A demonic rite of passage into the upper class? Whatever it was, the Maxwells, steered by their formidable mother, stayed put, unwilling to abandon their home, terrors, and trauma be damned. As adults, the siblings finally got away from the horrors of home, leaving their parents alone in the house. But when news of their parents' deaths arrives, Esri is forced to return to Texas with their sisters, Eve and Emmanuel, to reckon with the family's past and present and to find out what happened while they were away. River Solomon has turned the haunted house novel on its head. Unbridled, raw, and daring, Model Home is a story of secret histories uncovered and of a family battling for their right to live, grieve, and heal amid the terrors of contemporary American life. All right, Model Home by River Solomon. Look for a review very soon. Here we have another book about a haunted house, and this one is in from Berkeley. And this one is called This Cursed House. So it does exactly what it says on the label. The author of this one is Del Sandeen, and I do believe that it is a debut novel. Let's see what on the front it says. Some things are best left buried. Cool cover. Very nice. This one looks like it's a bit more gothic than, just contemporary haunted house horror, stuff like that. But let's see. Yes, in this Southern Gothic horror debut. Well done, Thomas. A young black woman abandons her life in 1960s Chicago for a position with a mysterious family in New Orleans, only to discover the dark truth. They're under a curse, and they think she can break it. In the fall of 1962, 27-year-old Gemma Barker is desperate to escape her life in Chicago and the spirits she has always been able to see. When she receives an unexpected job offer from the Duchan family in New Orleans, she accepts, thinking it is her chance to start over. But Gemma discovers that the Duchan family isn't what it seems. Light enough to pass as white, the black family members look down on brown-skinned Gemma. Their tenuous hold on reality extends to all the members of their eccentric clan, from haughty grandmother Honorine to beautiful yet inscrutable cousin Fossette. Those are very southern names. Then the shocking truth comes out. Gemma learns the Duchans are cursed, and they believe only she can free them. As Gemma wrestles with the gift she's run from all her life, she unravels deeper and more disturbing secrets about the Duchans. Secrets that stretch back over a century, secrets that bind her to their fate if she fails. So yes, family secrets, of course, always, a central trope to the Gothic novel. But anyway, wow, both of these, Model Home and this one look like they would be terrific binge reads together. But this Cursed House, or Cursed House, most people would say cursed. I feel like you're probably not properly being a good, Southern Gothic horror fan if you don't say cursed. It's got to be cursed, right? Anyway, Del Sandeen, debut novel out from Berkeley. All right, so this next one is one I requested, actually, and this is a bit of lit fic, but kind of slipstream, speculative fiction style lit fic. This is by Richard Powers, very well-known, respected lit fic author. The title is Playground, and as you see, this beautiful manta ray on the cover, and I believe that this is, a piece of climate fiction. It says, 4 lives are drawn together in a sweeping panoramic new novel from Richard Powers, showcasing the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of the overstory at the height of his skills. 12-year-old Evie Ballou sinks to the bottom of a swimming pool in Montreal, strapped to one of the world's first aqualungs. Ina Arroita grows up on naval bases across the Pacific with art as her only home. 2 polar opposites at an elite Chicago high school bond over a 3,000-year-old board game. Rafi Young will get lost in literature, while Todd Keene's work will lead to a startling AI breakthrough. They meet on the history-scarred island of Makatea in French Polynesia, whose deposits of phosphorus once helped to feed the world. Now the tiny atoll has been chosen for humanity's next adventure, a plan to send floating autonomous cities out into the open sea. Yeah, so there's the spec fic, right? But first, the island's residents must vote to greenlight the project or turn the seasteaders away. Set in the world's largest ocean, this awe-filled book explores that last wild place we have yet to colonize. Not for want of trying. Well, we've pretty much colonized it with plastic, I think. Plenty of trash, right? Anyway, in a still unfolding oceanic game, and interweaves beautiful writing, rich characterization, profound themes of technology and the environment, and a deep exploration of our shared humanity, in a way that only Richard Powers can. All right, then. So, yes, piece of climate fiction, Playground. And last, but by absolutely no means least, here it is. The new book by Peter F. Hamilton, a massive new tome from Pete Hamilton. This one is called Exodus, the Archimedes Engine. I think, though, that this is like a tie-in to a game property or something. Some of you are probably like, well, duh, Thomas. I mean, shows you how much I follow certain things. But yeah, because this is not actually on the Del Rey imprint. It's on Random House Worlds. Peter F. Hamilton does not own the copyright on this book. Wizards of the Coast owns it, so I guess they contacted Pete Hamilton and said, please write a Pete Hamilton novel, just in our universe. So that's great. That's fine. I have no problem with a new Pete Hamilton novel in any capacity, and if Wizards of the Coast let him just do his thing, then more power to them. Let's see what it has to say for itself. Story-wise, 40,000 years ago, humanity fled a dying Earth. Humanity is always fleeing a dying Earth. Poor us. Traveling in massive arc ships, these brave pioneers spread out across the galaxy to find a new home. After traveling thousands of light years, one fleet of arc ships arrived at Centauri, a dense cluster of stars with a vast array of potentially habitable planets. The survivors of Earth signaled to the remaining arc ships that humanity had finally found that new home among the stars. Thousands of years later, the Centauri cluster has flourished. The original settlers have evolved into advanced beings known as Celestials, and divided themselves into powerful dominions. That kind of thing just never goes well, does it? One of the most influential is that of the Crown Celestials, an alliance of 5 great houses that controls vast areas of Centauri. As arc ships continue to arrive, the remaining humans and their descendants must fight for survival against overwhelming odds or be forced into serving the Crown Dominion. Among those yearning for a better life is Finn, for whom Earth is not a memory but merely a footnote from humanity's ancient history. Born on one of the Crown Dominion worlds, Finn has known nothing but the repressive rule of the Celestials, though he dreams of the possibility of boundless space beyond his home. When another arc ship from Earth, previously thought lost, unexpectedly arrives, Finn sees his chance to embrace a greater destiny and become a traveler. One of a group of brave heroes dedicated to assuring humanity's future by journeying into the vast unknown of distant space. All right, and it goes on from there. Doesn't sound like the most, original idea in the world, to be honest with you. Chosen one hero, leading humanity out of oppression, etc., that kind of thing. But it's Pete Hamilton, right? So he can at least make this sort of thing entertaining, even if it's kind of hackneyed. So very happy to have this. It'll be a while. Did I say 800 pages? Was I right? Ew, I was off by 100. It's nearly 900 pages. So, but anyway. But yes, I will absolutely be reading this and reviewing it on the channel at some point. And hopefully not too long, maybe like, January-ish or something, but we'll see. Exodus, the Archimedes engine, is available now from Random House Worlds. And that is it for this mailbag, October 21st. Hope to have another one of these, maybe a couple more before the end of the year, right? Wish me luck. I'm going to really be working hard on it. Going to be in touch with publishers, be a little more proactive about this kind of thing. And so we will see. Wish me luck. But anyway, you guys know the drill. Light up the comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, and which of you would like to see me prioritize for review. And otherwise, if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends. And please don't forget about the Thursday night reading hangouts. They are very nice, chill streams. My regulars, hey, all of you, just really see it as a very it's a nice sort of comfort hangout towards the end of the week. A chance to just hang out for a couple hours, read with friends. If that sounds like it would be fun, by all means, please turn up. I'm just out there on the front porch. It's dark this time of year, the candles are going, the trains are off in the distance, and I've got my book, and it's just a good time. So, yeah. But otherwise, you can support the channel in other ways. My TeePublic store, I have a Buy Me a Coffee page now where you can just do like individual little donations. All those links are in the below, as well as my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks, like sometimes getting to see early access to my videos if I finish them in time. However, I am contemplating whether or not I want to continue with the Patreon, because the rules are changing, particularly in regards to the Apple App Store. They want to go to a subscription payment model instead of what's going on now, and I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. So if I end up kind of canceling the Patreon and encouraging like donations another way, maybe by doing channel memberships here, maybe by just encouraging, like I said, the Buy Me a Coffee page, or I think Super Likes, which is an idea I think YouTube stole from Twitch, right? Anyway, I always use that donation money to pay Matt Olson, my brilliantly talented and gifted channel artist who does all my amazing thumbnails and things for me. So it's a little bit of extra help that's entirely optional, and if you choose to do that, well, thank you very much. I'm always incredibly grateful for that. And so that is it. I will see all of you next time, so please, until I see you then, remember, book reviews coming this week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy reading.